Zach, what's up, brother? How are you?
Adam.
Crooks, right? Zack Crooks. Yeah.
Zack Crooks.
Got
Yep.
Zack Crooks here. So I got to tell you how Zach and I first met. This goes back, I don't know, maybe 2-3 years. It was at Vasa. We're here in Salt Lake City, the Brickyard Vasa, and I remember I saw you, right? You had a different energy about you from the beginning compared to all the other trainers. And I want to go into just trainers at some of the big gyms. I have a whole thing around that. But yeah, and you just like, we just kind of, give each other, what's up, and I ended up moving, left that Vasa, and I don't know if you left before I did, or, I can't remember. Then you and I reconnected at a social club, Edison House downtown, and I'm like, no way, here we go, right? And then in preparing for this, I'm like, okay, let's talk fitness, and I'm like, Zach, let's get some young energy in here, because I also want to talk. Because how old are you?
I'm 23.
20. Yeah, you're the same age as my oldest son, and I have a whole thing about your age group as far as gym etiquette in the gym.
Ooh.
It's a whole thing. We're going to get into that. And, but yeah, dude, but thanks for being here, man. Tell me, share a little bit more about you, how you even got into this.
Well, I appreciate you having me, Adam. We're here. We got the exotics. This is a great place.
Yeah, it's cool. You pull your mic just a little bit closer.
Oh, there we go. But yeah, my name's Zack Crooks. I also go by Zack Jacked, in Salt Lake City in South Florida. That's where I'm originally from.
What brought you to Utah?
4 years ago, man, it was the craziest thing. I'm sitting in my room, I'm praying, and just relaxing. I hear Utah. I'm like, what the heck? I've seen Utah. I've never been to Utah before. I'm not Mormon. Like, you know what? Let's check it out. Having conversations with people later that week, Utah just comes up. Driving in traffic, see a license plate, and have one of those really like divine thoughts. That's like, man, I'm on it right now. That's a line. That's where I want to go. It's who I want to be.
So you have actually even heard like a voice, like Utah, like an inspiration, like,
dude, like, voice of God.
Yeah, no,
this was like one of those things, and
you just knew you didn't want to be in Florida.
Exactly.
What just wanted to change, or you just felt like called somewhere else?
Just felt called to a new place, man. I felt like Florida felt like a trap. I was going to the beach every week. I loved it, and then my family moved away from our hometown, which was a beachy town, Fort Lauderdale. Like, shout out to Deerfield Beach, and it's a great place. And then moving to Tampa, we're an hour and a half from the beach, and that Utah was still just in the back of my mind. So,
and did you know anybody here?
Didn't know a soul.
Really, just like Utah.
Yeah, I said.
That takes balls just to go to a state that Utah, not Mormon, black guy in Utah, right? It's like the list is like, wait a minute, where did this guy, And then, yes, that was 4 years ago. So you were 19.
Yeah, well, I did it on my 20th birthday. Like, I didn't know what to expect. It was the summertime.
Literally drove out here and just like, I'll find a place when I get out here, and
loaded up the sedan, man, and we were on the road just taking videos. I said, if I don't like it, go to California, go to the next state, or drive back. But I'm taking a road trip for my 20th birthday.
Okay.
So,
and then obviously you've been here nearly 4 years, and so something stuck.
Yeah, man. It's every time I'm ready to go home, start doing something, helping people, just feel, an opportunity to present itself. And it's like, I need to stay in Utah for a little bit longer, man.
Okay.
You got to play the game. It's all about getting out of your comfort zone, taking a risk. So it's like, I need to create story. I want to have something to tell my kids about when I'm older. Be like, hey, I did this, and this is what it is right now. Yes, it's a little crazy. My family's across the country, but we speak every day. I think it actually brought us closer by making that move. And
yeah, I remember when I grew up here in Utah, and I remember I moved out for like a month, right? And then ended up going back, and then a couple, I don't know, and then ended up getting married and moving out. But when I finally moved out, my relationship with especially my parents got better.
Yeah, man.
And yeah, and do you have siblings?
Oh yeah, I'm the oldest of 4.
Okay. Yeah, I'm the oldest of 4 boys, and
Look
then I
at
have
that.
4 sons, and so that's, I always joke that it's like I can do the boy thing, and then when I was married, we ended up getting a girl dog, and right after that we got divorced. So it's like, it's just I could do the boy thing. The girl thing I'm still trying to figure out, but
Since I've met you, made a crazy transformation, man.
Yeah. I'm down. At one point I stopped weighing myself when the scale was at 350. So I just say that's what I was it 360, 355? I don't know. And today I'm just under 210. And it's been a wild ride. And, food, for most of my life, food was the drug, eating was the addiction. And learning how to use it to regulate my emotions. And obviously, you're in the personal training nutrition space, right? So you're the clients that are coming in and you're hearing the stories and you hear the same thing, right? And I'm a true believer that, again, at the end of the day, it's math, right? It's calories in, calories out, weight resistance. I mean, the formula to losing weight is, frankly, is simple.
Simple.
It's so easy. And there's 1,000 different variations of it, but the quote unquote hard part of it is literally, it's the emotion. It's most people have some sort of an attachment to food to help regulate and manage their emotions. And it's getting to the root of that, and understanding that. That's where the real work is.
Absolutely. I think that it starts in the identity. Like, a lot of us find comfort in food. It's like, oh no, I've been eating this from my childhood. It's my culture. There's a lot of, I hear all the reasons, but ultimately, I think the main thing that my clients who see success, it's when we don't focus on the results as much. We focus on changing their identity. Say, hey, we're a person who we train, whether it was a busy day, you worked 12 hours, kids had soccer practice. Like, training is just something that we do. It's like brushing our teeth. We're going to find a way to make it happen. Same thing with the food that we eat. We're not eating this. Yes, we'll eat food to, you're going out, have an ice cream with your girlfriend. That's fine, But there's going to be a structure and a system within the way that you eat. And this food is fuel. It's because of the identity that you formed. I feel like once you have that identity, the results follow. But just focusing on the results before that identity's been flipped to where I'm a disciplined person, I'm someone that takes my food serious, there's not a lot of results. It's like the man who loves walking will always walk farther than the man who just wants to get to a destination.
Yeah, I know. I love that. Yeah, for me, it was, and sometimes I think this is more for men than why did I need to get to 350? I mean, it's like, but I was going through. It was the last part of my, before I was married. I was going through a divorce, and it's I put on 50 pounds in like 6 or 7 months towards the end, and I mean, just like consuming my emotions. And, I share this story a lot. I had what I would call my rock bottom moment. I was in my new house. I was there alone. And my now ex-wife at the time called me and just tore into me. I don't even remember what she said. But I went into a trance and I just started to eat. I was started to eat everything just completely unconscious. Like I was it's like literally I was under a trance.
Yeah.
And really unconscious or unknowing to me at the time, I was just trying to get the pain to go away. Right. Mm-hmm. And then I ate whatever I could find, but there was still pain. And so I doubled down, DoorDashed a bunch of food. Yeah. My memory might have been 1 or 2 cheeseburgers. I don't know. But I'm sitting there in my new house, gorging myself, And of course, there's that temporary dopamine hit, the relief. And then the pain, then the uncomfortableness, then the pain kicked in of what I actually just did to my body. And just like the most gluttonous feeling I've ever felt. And I just sat there and I bawled my eyes out, uncontrollable crying. And I look back on that moment, and I remember at that moment, I said to myself in so many words, Adam, this doesn't work. It's time to change. And so the pain of staying the same finally exceeded the pain to change. And that was my quote unquote low point and one of the most painful experiences of my life. Many, and I've had a lot, but it's very memorable, and it was one of the greatest days of my life too, because that was the wake-up call, if you will.
If you could talk to him, Adam, that night, today, what would you tell him?
Just, I would love on that guy. It's,
man.
It's interesting because there's, especially with weight, my identity was my body, right? Well, and then you get underneath it, it's like I didn't feel worthy of love. And I talk a lot about this with the men that I work with. Is a lot of times that weight, people that are carrying a lot of weight, especially a lot more, it's rooted in self-love. And I didn't even feel worthy of being physically fit, which was wild. And it was so interesting because I had this like mental break, this mental threshold at 270 pounds. So, I mean, I've gained and lost enough weight over the years that I could go on Oprah. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, huge swings, like 50 pounds, 100 pounds, up and down, up and down. But I graduated from high school. I weighed about 250, 260. And it was, I keep having these moments where enough is enough. I played rugby for the Utah High School National Championship team here in Salt Lake, and I wanted to start the next year, and it was on New Year's. Went out with some friends. It was a horrible night, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. So I made a commitment to myself. I'm like, I'm not going to order any more fast food, and I'm going to start on the national championship, and we're going to win the national championship. But a way of like, signing off on that commitment. I remember you ordering a bunch of fast food on New Year's Eve, ate a bunch of whatever it was. And then I went, 6 months, and I remember we won the national championship. It was in Washington, D.C. It was 100 degrees, like 100% humidity. I mean, but like I did it. And at the end we won and I could not stop crying. And my homies are like, the hell are you crying for? What's going on? I'm like, I literally uncontrollable crying. And it wasn't the win. It was the fact that I set a goal. I stuck to it, and then just over the years kind of went up and down, big swings. But it was interesting when I started to blow past that, I'd get to 270, but 270 for me was like the psychological, I had set a mental block at it.
Yeah.
So I'd go up above it. I'd get to 270, but then I'd go back down. But then I'd always go back up to 270. I'd get to 250, 260, whatever, and then boom, right back to 270. It was this mental block. So when I finally completely transformed the way I eat, I remember getting to 270, and then it was weird. Like all these limiting beliefs started to come up, and this was years later. I mean, I'd hit that number so many times, and then breaking through that, and then 260, then 250. It's just like, it was such an incredible journey of just literally, at the end of the day, you mentioned identity. It's stories, and they're just stories, but it truly was my identity, my weight.
Yeah. And it is easy, and especially now on social media everywhere. Everyone wants to flaunt their physique. You're looking at the next best body. It seems like everyone is jacked. But when you go out in public, how many exceptionally fit people do you really see every time?
Oh, hardly any.
It's hard as hell, man, to get a jacked physique. It's however long you think it's going to take in your mind to get that physique, to have that body. I'd say add a year and then maybe 6 months to that. Like, it takes time. It takes a long time to have an exceptional physique.
Well, and I love that you as a personal trainer are stating that, because one of my issues I really struggle with the coaching industry, especially online, is they are overselling and overpromising this dream. We'll get you shredded in 90 days. We'll get you shredded in 6 months. And it's like, you tell that to a guy like me. I don't think I ever thought that I was going to lose over 100 pounds in 6 months. But you sell people this idea that you're going to overcome something in such a short period of time. And there's just such few people that can stick to it for such a long time. And this is my big issue with like any short-term thing, especially like 75 hard. Anyone can do anything for 75 hard, right? I was the king. Like, I'm getting ready for this trip, or or a particular thing I'm trying to work. But it's like you get to it, and then it's like, all right, now what? And then all of a sudden our body then falls back into old patterns, and then you go back into old habits. And so to really embody something and to actually become a way of living, I love that you gave the reference earlier about brushing your teeth. I always say that, like, to me, it's not what I do, it's who I am. Going to the gym is a non-negotiable, and there's days rarely that I don't go, but when I go, I make it up on my day off. And the truth is, I don't want to go half the time. Just like if I'm tired, I don't want to brush my teeth, but it's not even an option.
Absolutely. And also, like, a lot of people in fitness, there's got to be a sacrifice. Like, when you won that rugby championship, it meant so much because you sacrificed something you love for over 6 months, a long time up until that championship. In fitness, I have a lot of people that'll come in and they'll say, hey, I want to lose 25 pounds and I only want to work out twice a week. I'm going to have to go to a wine club every Tuesday. I'm also going to have dinner on Sunday. And like, these are non-negotiables, but it's just, it's not going to happen. You say, this is going to take a lot longer than you think. And it is possible to accomplish those exceptional results in a short amount of time, but it's not going to come with balance.
Well, and the thing I love about fitness too is you can't, now granted, you can biohack the body. I'm a huge advocate, hormone therapy, for those that need it, or peptide. You can biohack the body. And if your hormones are out of whack, you know this, like, you're paddling upstream. And so when your hormones get in line, boom, it's off to the races. But at the end of the day, you still have to earn it.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot buy it. You cannot cheat. It's like, no matter how much money you have. And I was like, I made a shit ton of money. I had a lot of money, but like, that was my identity, was in money. But like, and I was using it to fill, let me throw money at this. Let me see me. But the truth of the matter is, I hated the guy in the mirror. I was disgusted by him. And I judged him, that look of every time the camera, the angles, the adjustment. That was most of my life. The big thing too is, like, if I was laying down, I'd always pull my shirt up.
The shirt pull up.
I
did it, man. I've been there.
And it's funny too. I don't do it anymore, but I noticed even when I was losing weight and got thinner, just out of habit, I do it. And it's so funny too, because you think you're hiding it. And it's like everybody kind of sees it, you know, and but like it has been, and then the confidence that comes just being physically fit, it's a totally different game. It's a totally different game. And what's fascinating that I found, I don't know if you saw this. I posted a video. I did an AI video, and I said the 3 levels of fitness. And I said level 1 is like, you know, women start checking you out. Level 2 is like the gay dudes start checking you out. But then I'm like, but then there's a third level. The third level is when the straight dudes are checking you out. Truly, right? I mean, I always joke at the gym, like guys are checking out girls. I'm like, no, dudes are checking out other dudes, right?
It's competition. It's you see someone ultimately. Yes, we live in a very peaceful society, but it's like if I had to fight this man, how would this go? Like you think about it. It's one of the few things I feel that we can control, and you know, you can't buy a physique. It's not like, oh, this person's dad's money, whatever. Like none of that stuff is a factor in fitness. It's did you show up every day? Your habit's going to show exactly through your physique.
Yeah, and I remember like to me, I mean, some people just have it, like just even being vascular.
Yeah.
So when at my peak, like I remember going to draw blood, and you couldn't. No, I know, but like you could barely see. I mean, they had to like pump it to barely get it. And I remember on a surgery once, they had a hard time putting the like IV in.
for
Like,
you,
yeah, for me, I had none.
Whoa.
And I, you know, I had this obsession with my feet because you could see veins in my feet. It was so funny. And then so as you start to lose weight, you all of a sudden start to see a vein, and then more, and then more, and then more. And it's like now I have them running through my stomach, the whole bicep, and it's just like, it's wild, you know? And to me, it's like, it's who I am today. I mean, I'm 48 years old, and this is brand new. Every day is brand new for me. It's like having sex for the first time every single day. And it's like, I never thought that I would be where I'm at today. And then now it's just like the game, well, how far can I push it? You know, how far can I take it? And what's fascinating too, because to me, it's so much of this is mental and emotional, right? Change is uncomfortable. You know all this. You're seeing with clients. But what's interesting is there's levels to it. You know, so I've done so much work around healing my attachment to food and using it to regulate my emotions.
Absolutely.
The big thing that I noticed that came into my awareness last year is like when I'm tired, when I'm exhausted, I want food for comfort. And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm like, why am I wanting, you know, so all of a sudden all these triggers are coming up again, and it's like, I'm, you know, sure, I'm like, what the hell's going on? I'm like, oh, I'm tired. That's a new thing, you know? And then the further you push it, it's like you fall back into old patterns or whatever. But I mean, I'm as healthy as I've ever been. I wouldn't say perfect, but I follow a plan almost to a T as I'm preparing for my first men's physique show.
Hey.
But the truth of the matter is, like, if I get triggered today, if I'm tired, my first instinct is I want to eat. It's still there. It doesn't go away.
Doesn't go away.
And I just don't let it take over. But before I was like, see you later. Like, I mean, it's embarrassing. Like I'm even going back into high school. You know, you're too young for this, but you know, Arby's. I don't know if they do this anymore. I think with inflation, it's not the case. Like you could get 5 roast beef sandwiches for $5.
Oh man.
Well, do you know anyone that did 10 for 10?
No.
I did 10 for 10. I ordered 5 of them. And no joke, I was embarrassed to order 10, so then I drove to another Arby's. And I'm eating in private and so much shame around. I mean, I was a full-blown addict. I mean, I'm just grateful it was only food and I wasn't, you know, other stuff. But it's fascinating watching people eat and then just regulate the emotions. And a lot of the work that I do with men in facing their fears and doing stuff, you know, some of these guys have issues with, obviously with food is, you know, and it's so much of it's just limiting beliefs and just like being okay, being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like I'm hungry and my stomach's growling. That's what
but then most
feels like
then,
a little.
I know,
man,
but then sometimes it's like
fat.
yeah, but sometimes it's not even hunger. It's just like I'm bored.
It's boredom,
you know. And so yeah, so what do you tell the client that comes in like you just said, right? Hey, I want Wednesday wine night. I want this. I want that. Like, do you just? I mean, are you just like, well, we're not going to get there, or are you just kind of like?
Say that it's going to take a matter of sacrifice, and that if they really do want to see those exceptional results, then they're going to have to become obsessed for a short period of time and either make a drastic change. Drastic change come with drastic changes. So we're gonna have to take these next 3 months and let's try to go, whether it's say it's alcohol, we're gonna go no alcohol for the next 3 months, or We're going to take a break off of Domino's. If you get that twice a week, you get it every day on the way home from lunch. Let's move that to once a week. And we're going to have to make a drastic change for a short amount of time. We're going to have to increase their activity to get them to the level, and then we can maybe incorporate this at a more liberal rate. But or else we're just going to work out. And I tell them, I'll be happy to work out with you, and I'll keep you accountable in the gym, but the change is going to come when you're not with me. This is only a small part of the pie.
Yeah.
And just gradually shifting their habits with food. You know, we start with one macronutrient at a time. So rather than giving someone a whole meal plan, just saying, hey, you normally eat these 20 foods, you're going to eat these 20 different foods. Find out what they eat, try to find those foods and fit them within the macros that they need. We'll start with just hitting protein this week. Then we'll start hitting protein and the calories. Then we'll do one day a little bit higher carbs and just gradually just progress them. You see their level of understanding, and then it's like, okay. Then they're going to become excited to tell you about how they're doing with these things.
Yeah, and the way you do it, I think, is the smartest way to do it too. Because if you go from one extreme to the next, you're more than likely going to set yourself up for
the same progressive overload we use with the weights. We apply that principle to nutrition.
Yeah, yeah, and I love that you are. I mean, obviously, I don't progressive overload, but I've never heard it articulated with food. So I love that you said that. And it's just like it's slow, and that's the problem too. It's like, and this was hard for me too. It's because like, hey, I completely abused my body for years, decades.
Yeah.
So if I ate shitty for 10 years, I can't expect that I'm going to lose all this in 3 months,
Exactly.
6 months, right? So it's like there's the more weight you have to lose, right? The longer it's going to take, right? How much damage, even time or whatever. But my whole thing is like so I launched a fitness offering last year. I was targeting specifically men that had at least 30 pounds to lose. And I always laugh when people say, oh, they have 30 pounds to lose. No, it's probably 50. Or I only want to lose 20. No, it's 40.
It's more than you think.
It's always more than you think, you know? But one of the most fascinating things that came from that was so eye-opening is I had 28 guys or something that started originally. And I would say over half of them were over 300. And so I asked them all a question on our introductory call when we were getting started. I said, what's your ideal weight? I said, I'm not talking about how long it's going to take. Like, ideally, if you could pick a weight, what would be your ideal weight in your head? There wasn't one man over 300 pounds that said less than 250, which was fascinating to me. I mean, one of these guys was 5'8". Like, bro, you should weigh, your healthy weight's like 170, 160, right? And so, but what it was so revealing is like, they couldn't picture, I mean, again, being 300 going to 250 felt like, which is huge, right? If it's 50, 60, 70 pounds, I mean, that's significant. But they didn't even believe, because I didn't say like, how, what's your target? I said, what's your ideal? I didn't say what's your target. It's like, they did not even see themselves it being possible to even be down to like really what would be considered a quote unquote healthy weight. And again, identity, right? Lack of self-worth, lack of self-love, and they just didn't think they would ever be possible. And you tell somebody, a man or what, I can speak for a man because I'm a dude, but like to tell a man that's been overweight or struggled with weight his whole entire life, right? To like, hey, he could actually be that. You don't even think it's possible. Like there's no way. I mean, looking in the mirror today is like, who is that guy? Like it blows my mind, and I'm so grateful, but I've worked my ass off to get this. And I always say the difference between somebody that makes it and doesn't make it, there's one simple thing. The guy that's made it, whatever made it is, right? We're talking about weight loss and fitness. It's that person's been willing to do something that you haven't been able to do, or that you have not been willing to do up to this point.
Yep.
Right? So if a guy in his, not till 40, right, can lose all this weight. I mean, it was fascinating to go to my high school reunion here. I think it was last year, 30th high school reunion. Like, I was one of two guys like in phenomenal shape, and I was the fat kid in high school, and then walking in and seeing all the, the athletes and everybody, the cheerleaders, and they're all chubby. It was just such a wild experience, and people don't even recognize you. You're like, what? And yeah, and it just built, it fuels confidence. I even seen some of your own transformation, right? And seeing like your fitness and like adding more muscle. I mean, it does something to the psyche.
Oh yeah. And you put yourself through something difficult every day. When the difficult things in life come at you, you're ready for it. You're not going to panic. It's prepared for this. We train for this.
So what's I know here in Salt Lake, but what's the gym that you train at?
Butler Pro Gym. It's a bodybuilding gym in South Salt Lake. Some monsters there, man. Like, these guys take bodybuilding very serious.
Were you there when you and I reconnected at Edison? Weren't you at a gym downtown? Or is that the same place? The one you were from? I thought there was one downtown you were at.
No, I was training there. I've been
Were you?
training there for
Okay.
about almost 2 or 3 years.
Okay, so you went from Vasa to there.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. When I actually moved to Salt Lake, that was the first place I went, man.
Oh, it
Didn't
is?
even go to the Airbnb. I said, you got to check out this gym. This looks amazing.
Okay, so it's, yeah, and the reason I'm asking, so it's like, see the Vasa, like, so here in Salt Lake, it's the Brickyard Vasa. So
One and only.
it is, but the vibe, at first, I didn't like it. The 2-story, whatever, I wasn't into it. It didn't have all the machines like the other big Vasas, and so, but then the more and more I went, I'm like, it just was a vibe. There was just a different energy. It's like a bunch of old dudes.
Yeah,
the
homies, man.
Yeah, the homies. It wasn't like this meat market. It wasn't like going to the Provo Vasa or where I'm at, the EOS, where I mostly go downtown in Salt Lake. Like, I can't stand that place. Like, there's only certain windows where it's okay, and it's just the energy and the people that are there, and it drives me crazy. But I love the vibe,
You should come check out Butler, man.
Yeah, I need to, because I need to find somewhere different, because for a number of different reasons. But it's the gym etiquette thing. Let me get on my soapbox here for a minute. So did you work at any other big box gyms besides that?
Oh,
Vasa?
yeah.
Oh, so
in Florida, I worked at multiple big
Okay,
box
so
gyms. I was
okay,
training. And,
So it's wow, how do I articulate? It's the lack of people's awareness. You know what drives me fucking crazy is that, and it's usually the 20-something-year-olds. We'll call it 17 to mid to late 20s.
Broccoli head?
Yeah, exactly. It's like these guys get on there and they do the set, and then they're on their phone, and I'm watching them, and I'll go through I'll do 9 sets between different machines or whatever, and they're still getting ready to do their second, and it's like, dude, you don't need 7 minutes between each rep or 10. And then my favorite is you sit down, it's like, hey, how many more reps do you have? So I have these little games that I'll see, because sometimes they're literally you'll be standing there, they don't even look at you, and it's like, and then so I'm like, hey, how many more do you have? And then this is my favorite. It's like, I got 3 more, or I've got one. This is my favorite. I got 1 more, and this happens all the time. He says 1 more, no joke. Then picks up his phone, goes to TikTok, and he sits there for another 4 minutes. And I'm just like, I want to punch him in the face. It drives me crazy. And I'm like, do I say something? Do I not say something? And what's been fascinating too, again, just bringing it back, the better shape that I've been getting in, it's fascinating. And call it respect, call it intimidation. I don't know what it is, but it's like, I've noticed that in my own transformation, the more in shape I get, when I go up to somebody, sometimes, you can just, I've had people
You're
like,
good.
no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm like, I thought you said you just had 1 more. Like, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Got it, bro.
Or there'll be people that want to come up and flex, and then they'll look up and they're like, oh, sorry, man, sorry. Because I'll watch other people, like there's this group of guys, I don't know where they're from, but they're just assholes. They kind of they think they're better than everybody else. They've got the vibe, but they'll go pick on. They make fun of people. They do stuff right, and they were doing it to somebody, and they came over to try to get something. And I looked at them, and they're like, I see you. Like, don't pull that shit with me, And I always tell my boys, I'm like, do not be. And they're not like that. They're not on their phones in the gym, but it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, no, it's just it's a generational thing that I've noticed. You don't see the 40 and 50-year-olds sitting there doing the same thing. It's like, or like, hey, can I work in with you?
Yeah.
I've asked that multiple times. Like, nope.
I mean, at Voss and EOS, you definitely get it. At the big bucks gyms, I think it's a timing thing. I think there's prime times, 5 p.m. to 7:30. Forget about it. You're gonna probably be waiting for a couple of machines.
For sure. And I'm okay waiting sometimes. And I'm choosing to go at those times, so obviously I'm responsible for that. It's just like, to me, it's this lack of self-awareness. Like, look around, bro.
Yeah.
And here's my other thing too with trainers, right?
Trainers.
No, but I mean, I'm a personal trainer. Like, it's you didn't fit the mold of that Voss either, right? So I'd watch, young guys come in, a lot of them your age or whatever, right? And it wasn't so. I haven't noticed it. So I didn't notice so much of your Vasa, but at this EOS, I mean, they are so sloppy. Like, there's a dude there that literally is wearing, he's wearing Levi's. Like, he has Levi's. He's got a little bit of a belly. He's just kind of sloppy. And I'm just like, do you ever see people where you're just like, it's almost like you can't believe it, but then you can't stop looking? And so every time I see him, I'm just fascinated by watching how he moves through. And then I'm thinking, like, okay, here's this client. This guy does not emulate or look physically fit in any capacity, dressed like a slob. And yet they're paying this guy to do it. You know, I just feel like if I've had personal trainers over the years or coaches, but like the guys that I've hired, it's like they look like how I want to look.
You want to look like that guy, right?
I don't want to look like this. But then what's been interesting is a lot of people they work with, like how he looks is significantly better than how they look.
Yeah.
So it's like, again, it's like there's, again, and everybody's on their own journey, but like I'm fascinated by I've never seen it so much as I have this EOS. Like it's wild. And there's so many of them. And there's one or two that it's like, okay, they're legit. You can tell they take it serious.
Yeah.
The other thing they do is they put the client down, whatever, and then they just get on their phones. And they just like, they're not even like engaged. Like, oh, you're done? I mean, I'm just like, how much are these people paying to have these guys work with them, you know?
Yeah, the phone thing, that bugs me a bit, man. One thing I tell people when looking for a coach, your coach doesn't need to look like Mr. Olympia. But if they're teaching you fitness, they should have some aspect of fitness that shows when they're within their physique and the way that they carry themselves. And also look at the transformation. Ask them, see the people that they've helped. But if you can't see any people that they've seriously made real transformations with and they don't have the physique, that's probably not someone that you want to sign up with, you know?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't know. You know, what's another thing, too, is I'm curious on your take on this. And I'm not saying everybody wants to look like a Greek god, shredded, like talking about men, right? Just jacked, like, you know, even for me in my training, like I'm not doing steroids, right? I mean, I'm peptide, HGH, like testosterone, 100% full behind that. But like, I know I'm going to be competing against guys that are doing roids. Yeah. The reason that I've chosen not to do that is I've had my own issues with body dysmorphia over the years. I don't want to be on the other side of it. I don't want to step onto stage and like this then becomes my new base. And then if I'm not that, and then create this whole other on the other side of it. Like I'm hyper aware of just my own attachment to my own body and all the shit that I've worked through over all the years. So I don't want that. But what's interesting is a lot of people say, well, I don't want to look like that. You know, even some of my men that in consulting and coaching that I work with, right, that have weight to lose, I'll always like, no, I'm good. Like I don't want to lose any more weight, and they're 40 or 50 pounds overweight or 30 pounds overweight. Yeah. And I will push. I'm like, what? I mean, no joke. I had a client. He was 50 pounds overweight. He originally came to me because he wanted to lose weight. That was where we kind of started. And so we built a whole plan, did the macros, did the whole thing. And then he's just like, you know what? I'm actually really good. And so I just kept pressing. I'm all bullshit. And so I kept asking him questions. I'm like, are you telling me? I'm like, you look in the mirror? He goes, oh, yeah. I'm like, if you're butt-ass naked and you're looking at yourself in the mirror, are you just like, hell yeah, I look good? He goes, oh, yeah. I mean, and I just like, dude, really? You know what I mean? And so to me, it's like, and if he really truly sees himself that way, he's delusional. But nevertheless, like, there's also a part of me, it's like, okay, respect. Yeah. Like, I had my own issues. I couldn't see myself that way. So respect for that side of it. But I found, too, that a lot of people will say they don't want to look a certain way. And if you get them to be open, and if you push people, sometimes they'll get there. But at the end of the day, it's like they don't want to do what's necessary to get there. So instead of just saying that, it's more about, well, I'm not interested in looking like that. Yeah. You notice that?
I agree to an extent. I do think there are a couple of people out there that's like, man, the physique is just not that important of a thing to them. They'd rather just make money and be nihilistic, and I think that's cool too. Sometimes you do get people like that, or especially women, they're like, I don't want to lose like my curves. It's like, okay, you probably need to lose a little bit more weight, Patricia. But
well, it's their body. Yeah. Their choice. Okay, so let's go a step further on this. The whole dad bod thing.
Oh man.
So there'll be, I don't know, I haven't seen it for a while, but there was for a while there. Maybe it's just because of my feed but it was just like, all these women, it's like, I want a husband, I want a man with a dad bod, right? And so then I'm sitting there and it's like, well, what is it? I mean, that could be different for everybody. I mean, me weighing 350 is not a dad bod, right? But a guy being 20, 30, 40 pounds, whatever, you call that a dad, little soft, whatever, right? But like, and then I started thinking about it, and like, does she really truly crave and desire to have a guy with a dad bod? Or is if he gets his ass in shape, is that then a mirror to you that all of a sudden it's putting the mirror on you that you're not doing the work? And my belief is, I'm going to do a whole poll on social about this sometime, but I've never seen a woman that is physically fit, is taking really good care of her health, ever say publicly, I want a man, or I like a man with a dad bod. That's just me. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but like, I'm just wondering if like, what are your thoughts on that? Maybe you haven't noticed that, but I notice shit like that just because my body's been such a thing over the years. So I'm just shocked by people's opinions and what they.
Dude, I see it on social media, and it's one of those things that I really don't know. I don't know. 'Cause sometimes, being out in public, you see like couples, and the guy can be really out of shape, and the girl's just
Drop
jacked,
dead. Yep.
man. I'm just like, he's got something going on, man. It's one of those things that I don't think. I think if you asked every man if you could snap your fingers and have that chiseled physique, and everyone would pick the yes.
Yeah, I think most people would.
100%. I do think the dad bod thing is a cope.
And I agree with you. Some people don't. I mean, for me, it's just not a priority.
Yeah.
But again, at the end of the day, it's like.
Or it's a matter of identity. Like
Yeah.
some people have identified, hey, I'm a bigger person, and they'll come up with the terms and make plus size stores and everything, and it's just to make that lifestyle more comfortable. We live in the land of comfort in America. Most people want to be comfortable. I don't think everyone truly wants to have that change. I think it takes a series of events. It takes for them to have a feeling sad or feeling depressed, or it takes a catastrophic event like
the pain of their current
or
situation has to exceed the pain of change.
100%.
If there's not enough pain, people don't change. I mean, and I think that's with everything. It's like if you're making X amount of dollars. When I had my investment firm, I'd have investment advisors that worked for me,
Yep.
and then they'd be doing whatever, and then they'd hit a certain. It just everybody was different, but they hit a certain plateau. I had one guy once, the older guy came over, and I mean, we built all these incredible systems. He was old school, like wouldn't tie into it. My office is getting pissed, and he was like, "You got to talk to him, whatever." So I went in there, and I sat down with him. I go, "Do you want to make more money?" And he looked at me and he goes, "I don't.
No.
I'm comfortable." And I'm like, I don't. My brain doesn't work that way. And I literally, for a minute, I was kind of speechless, and I'm like, inside, I'm like, fascinating. And I'm like, okay, then we're probably not a good fit because you're paying us to do all these things. You're throwing our system off. I actually ended up buying his business, but at the time, it blew my mind. And the truth is, he didn't. He didn't care. He had enough.
Yeah, man.
He had enough, and so it's like, what do you do with that? And again, I think when people get to a certain place and they're comfortable in life, and I get that too. It's like there's certain parts of my life, like I mean, I'm so disciplined and such a caloric deficit, and it's hours a day. I mean, it's so much right now. Truthfully, I don't want to keep doing it like this, but I also know that it's like I know me well enough that I probably will do it again, but like I want something more just like. What's interesting is it's taken so much longer than I thought that it's just I prefer to eat the way I eat now.
Yeah.
Like, and my body's become so accustomed to this that when I eat something different or it doesn't follow the plan, it's like immediate inflammation. It's like and so I'll probably mostly eat like this, at least for the foreseeable future. But sometimes you get to a point, it's like I want to exceed, I want the growth, but at the same time, like finding that balance between, hey, I'm comfortable, but like also being healthy, and you see this with clients too, and it's interesting because everybody's different, and like I think you and I see fitness and probably in similar ways, but then it's like people come in and it's like, okay, well, let's see what we can work with,
It's you have to ultimately find out what is their identity, what's the identity that they want to achieve, and help them get there. We may have greater expectations for people than they have for themselves because fitness is it's more important to us. Like me personally, I love lifting weights. Like lifting is not hard for me. It's like I love doing it. It's not it's like, oh, I gotta go to the gym. Sometimes you may not feel like it, but once I'm in there, it's something that I enjoy doing it. There's some people that truly hate strength training and they really don't enjoy it. There's no parts of it that are fun for them. It's torture the whole time. So for those people, I think finding a way to find movements that they feel good with, that they're comfortable with, and then getting them a routine to do the thing in which they hate, that's a win in itself.
I agree, because there were several years where I hated the gym, and so it's funny, I would work out, but then I would sabotage because I was eating so much food. But like I became a junkie with Orange Theory. I became a junkie with F45. I was when I first got into CrossFit. Like, I loved it, like, geeked out on it. And then I'm trying to, I'm in my 30s or late 30s at the time. and I'm trying to compete with the 21-year-old guys your age, right? And I'm deadlifting 400 or 500 pounds, throw my back out, tear my, just like stupid. It's just ego getting involved in it, But then when I finally settled into the gym, because when I actually started this journey, it just was old school, cardio, gym, caloric deficit, hitting protein, and then it was off to the races. It was just consistency. And the biggest thing for me was getting my hormones in check. Like when I went to, so I was at a meeting with a client, and I'm 350-ish at the time, and a client of mine was like, "Yeah, I had a friend or something or another that he lost 50 pounds with testosterone." I'm like, "What? He did what? Testosterone therapy? What's that?" I mean, call it naivety, ignorant. I had no idea. So I went in and got my testosterone checked, and I had the testosterone of like an 80-year-old. It's like it was under 200.
Oh man.
And I'm like, okay, I'll start doing this, And I'm not kidding. It changed so much in me, literally within 24 hours. And I was actually going through my divorce at the time. It was the very beginning stages of it. All of a sudden, it's like I didn't realize I had brain fog. The brain fog went away. Motivation kicked in. I mean, it was the most crazy feeling. And then there was a moment there where I'm like, holy shit, because I was in a season, I want to take full responsibilities or anything I can do to try to save my marriage or whatever, right? So there was like a couple week period where I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? And then my ex-wife called and ripped into me, and I'm like, and I literally went home the phone. I'm like, thank you, God, it's not just me. There's two of us, right? But it changed my mental capacity, and you're young, but guys in their 30s and 40s. I don't know if you saw the news today. Did you see the Pentagon today came out and said that all military over 30 are going to get their testosterone checked, And if you're, again, my testosterone was low because I didn't take care of myself. I mean, it was lifestyle for sure. And also as you get older, it naturally goes down. But that completely revolutionized my life. Having your testosterone in check, right? I mean, sexual performance, muscle building, everything. And did you ever see the movie? I don't know if you remember this. There was a movie called Unbreakable with Bruce Willis. Samuel Jackson's in it too. Okay, it's old. Yeah. Anyway, he is. There's a subway crash, and everybody dies but him, or a train or subway. And he's basically the superhero. Samuel L. Jackson has this comic story. He's trying to find the real superheroes in life, whatever.
Oh,
so it's Bruce Willis, and and there's a scene in the movie where he's alive, and he's just like, how did I survive this? And he's in the garage, and he's on the bench press. His young son's there, and so he's like, puts up a plate or whatever it was, right? And then easy. And then his son he kept putting plates on, and then put cans of paint on, and he could still do it. And his son's crying like, oh my gosh, the superhuman strength. That's what when I started doing testosterone, that's what it felt like. It's like, oh my God, put another plate on. It was crazy. Just, being able to build muscle. I'm such a huge advocate for that, but
I think it's great. People, if you're over 30, I advise going to get it checked. Especially we've seen studies on the food supply in America and just all the preservatives where food's getting sprayed, and we shouldn't have to pay to get food pay a little extra to get food that hasn't been chemically sprayed and altered. And you can see the decline for over the last 50 years in men's testosterone levels. And I'm 23 right now. I think I don't need it. I should have habits to make sure that
Yeah, yours should be raging right now.
Exactly,
your age.
naturally. But
so as we wrap
later
up
in
here,
life, I'm definitely going to explore.
So as we wrap up here, Zach, you're in the fitness industry, you see things. What are some pitfalls or things that you think the fitness industry is missing? Three on the spot there.
What is the fitness industry missing?
Yeah, I mean, it's everywhere.
I think the fitness industry is missing just pure fitness. Everywhere you look at, the fitness industry has turned more into gambling and just OnlyFans. It's just everyone's promoting something else. That's what fitness content has turned into. But I think just seeing dudes like old school CT Fletcher just lifting, slamming iron, and screaming, seeing progress, I think it's missing more of that. I think it's missing patience from all around. Everyone wants to do it now. They want to be the biggest influencer right away. They want to have the physique right away. They want to be the youngest to get their pro card. But fitness is a long-term thing, and it changes as time goes on. I think that we should take a more long-term approach to it. And, yeah, I think our goals in fitness, if people should make longer term goals in fitness, that's what's missing.
Yeah,
Patience.
And the thing that I connected with the most at the very beginning you said is like, I love the reference gave about brushing your teeth, right? It's just it's what I do. It's just who I am, really.
What you do.
And like, to me, it's like, there's no going back. I mean, so to me, it's just like, it's like brushing your teeth for the rest of my life. It's just something that's going to be there. And there'll be different things and challenges and so forth. But once you can embody it as just a way of being, then it's just like, it's sustainable. And so anyway, dude, just mad respect for you coming on here with me and just in such short notice. I don't know if I said this at the beginning. I texted one 24 hours ago. I'm like, dude, you want to get on a podcast? And this is his very first one. So
yeah.
Mad respect. And I'm a huge fan of him. And so like, what's your Instagram handle?
It's Zack.jacked. Zack with an H.
Yeah, so ZACH.jacked, right?
And then I coach at Butler Pro Gym. My company's Forge Temple Fitness. You know, you forge like a blacksmith. Your body is the temple.
I love that. My man, so good to see you. Thank you for joining me.
Likewise, Adam.
Yeah, and wish you nothing but success. And we'll have to get a workout in him one of these days.
Cheers.
All right,
Make
brother.
it happen.
All right, mad respect. Thanks, dog.
All right.